Hello everyone, welcome back to Snappy Gurus, and in today's video we're going to be looking at networking with doors. So let's dive right into the project. So I've created a third-person template that we're using on Unreal Engine 5. We're going to go over to the project settings and head over to input. So first of all, we need to create a interaction button so we can actually interact with the door. So let's go ahead and create this action mapping here and call it interact. And we can assign the key to that to be E. So let's go ahead and call that E and interact. And we go ahead and create the interface. So we're going to go to blueprints, right click blueprints and go to blueprint interface. And let's just go ahead and call that BPI underscore interact. We can open that up and call the function interact. And we're done there. So simple, I know. Right, once we're done with that, we can go ahead and go over to the character. So let's open this bad boy up. And then we can have a quick search for interact. And we're going to get the action event, not the BPI. So let's go ahead and go off of press. We're going to go ahead and do a line trace by channel, which will give us this node. And we're just going to do a quick line trace from the camera. So get the world location. This can go right into the start. And from the follow camera again, we're going to get the forward vector and multiply that like so. We can bring that quickly over. And we're going to add from the world location to this multiply node. And then right click on the multiply and convert the pin to a float. And then we can right click again, promote to variable. This will just be the interaction length, so the distance of the raycast. So let's just go ahead and recall this. I don't know, interact trace length. And we can go ahead and just drag that over there and connect that to the end. So we can compile that and then change this value to something like 500. Okay, actually I'm gonna probably do 750 for now. After we've done that, we're going to go ahead and break the hit result and then open it up, and we can get a quick branch in here. Bear in mind, to get a branch other than right clicking, you can do the shortcut of holding B and left clicking. It's a quick nifty tip for you. Right, go to the hit actor and we're going to do does implement interface. And this will be the little interface we just made, so BPI underscore interact. Like so. And then from there we can get a and ball. So drag off a blocking hit and boolean. Do that. If you're wondering as well how I'm straightening everything, I'm just hitting Q on my keyboard. If it doesn't work for you, it's you'll have to go ahead and do it in your keybinds. So once we've done that, we can drag off of hit actor and call the interact interface like so. Looking pretty good. Bear in mind, this is a very basic interaction system. We have got a better video on the channel where it covers the majority of it. From there, we can go ahead. Actually, no, we're not going to call it interact. We're going to create a custom event. So it's server underscore. Let's call it interact. And then on the replicates in the details panel of this custom event, we're going to right click on the, left click on the replicate section and click it to run on server. Right, once we've done that, and we can also set it as reliable. So yes, once we've done that, we can go ahead and server interact, plop that there. On the server interact, what we can also do is we can quickly do an input. So let's do input, I don't know, actor name, and then the boolean will change that to actor and just have it as a reference. So we can just plug that in and we're all cushy. Once we've done that, we're going to go off of the server interact and just type in interact. and we're going to grab the BPI interact like we had before. Right, once that is finished, we can clean this up by quickly moving it to a function, like so. So just select it all, right click, and convert to function. Once we've done that, we can just quickly rename this to, I don't know, interact trace. Yeah, that looks good. So the trace is currently client side, and then we're moving over to the server. So once we've finished that, we can compile, save, and we've pretty much finished with the character. Now we can go ahead and create a new blueprint class, and let's go ahead and call that a BP_door, I guess, or door master, because we can create children from this class. Right, now that we've finished with that, what we can go ahead and do is we can go to the components, and we're going to add a new component. This is going to be the static mesh. So this will be your door. We're going to call it SM_door static mesh door. So yeah, in the starter content, it does have a mesh for the door, so we're going to use that for now. Once we've done that, we can also add another component, so a box collision. Just drag that on and parent it to the child, so attach. There we go. Right, so what this box will be is the overlap event which can trigger. So obviously we're going to have the interact on a key, and also this will be for interact on the overlap. So we can do either, depending on what you want or your game is doing. If you don't want this, you could quickly skip ahead, but we're going to do it anyway. So once that's in, and it's around the size we'd like, I guess. Guess it can be like that, that's fine for now. We're going to go ahead and go to the event graph. But also, before we do that, we need to click at the top and go to the class, and then make sure it's set to replicates in the details panel. That is very important. Also, I'm just going to quickly set it to dormant all as a quick optimization. So once we've done that, we can go ahead and delete the majority, or everything in there. And we're going to quickly go to class settings, add, and we're going to go ahead and add the interface which we created earlier. Once we've done that, let's go ahead and add the event interact from the left under interfaces. And we're going to go and create a branch. So what we're going to do here is basically check if we can open the door, right? So we're going to need a couple of variables. So first of all, let's create a locked variable, which will be a bool. Then we're going to create a can overlap and a can interact. So the interact bool will basically be for your key, and the overlap will be for the box collision we added there. So let's go ahead and go off of the condition and add an and boolean. And we're going to go off of the second one with a not bool, and we're going to connect that to locked. We want to make sure we cannot open this door if it's locked. And then we can go ahead and get the can interact and connect that to the end. What we also are going to quickly do is we're going to select these three nodes, leaving out the can interact, right click, collapse the function, and we're going to rename that to isLocked, and we're going to convert it to a pure function on the right. We'll quickly rename these to action, and that looks good to me. So once we've done that, we can go ahead and carry on. Let me just make this a bit more pretty. Right, so next we're going to go ahead and add this sound. So when you actually open and close the door, we want to play a sound, obviously. So we're going to add a multicast custom event and put up something like multicast FX and set the replication to multicast. Okay, so it will run on all clients. And in here we can go ahead and play sound at location, just like that. with this project being the template, we don't really have any good sounds. You can probably source them from a lot of websites. You can get a lot of free ones as well. Definitely suggest checking the copyright. So for now, we're just going to quickly create this as a variable so we can change it later on. So inside this, it'll be door sound. And we're going to get the location and get the actor location. We're also going to quickly go ahead. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing it so it doesn't sound like total garbage. So we're just going to quickly change that. And we're going to set the door sound to, for me anyway, you can change it to whatever, but I'm going to have it as explosion 1. And just make this look more nice. Right. Boom. Awesome. I like it. Right, from there we're going to go off of true and do a flip-flop. Actually no, we've just had the multicast. So multicast, FX, and then go ahead and add a flip-flop. Boom. Awesome. We love to see it. We can then go ahead and add a timeline. So add timeline. And I'm just going to call this TL for timeline, obviously, underscore door. We're going to do that on play. And then reverse will be the B of the flip-flop. And then go ahead and jump right in and add a float track to the timeline. I'm going to call this alpha. I'm going to set the door to be around 0.6 seconds, I guess. And we can add 2 nodes by shift clicking. I'm going to set the first one to 0, 0, and the second one to 0.6 and a value of 1. I'm also going to quickly add one more little divot there and just put it up a little bit to add a little bit of a bounce. And I'm probably going to add another one at the bottom just to give it a little bit of a nicer bounce. There we go. And we can go ahead and turn that as a replicated timeline. It'll make the movement a lot smoother across the network. So once we've done that, go back to the event graph, and then we can go ahead and start on the transform for the door. So we're going to bring out the door. I'm going to set the relative transform. I'm going to connect that to the update. And then off of the transform, we're going to go ahead and load transform. Right, from there, we can go ahead and on A, we're just going to make a transform and we're going to leave it all zeroed out. And then for the B, what we can do is right click, split struct. And on the location, we can just promote that to a variable and call this something like, I don't know, slide location. And then the B rotation can be something like rotation amount. These are all customizable, so you can name it anything you really want. Scale, I'm going to leave, but you can add it if you want. And for alpha, we're going to add that now. So we're going to select all this and then condense that down to a function, which we'll call door transform. You can name it anything you really want, with an input of a float, and call this alpha. So off of there, we can actually just connect the alpha of the timeline up to the function, which is great. Right, once we've done that, we can go to alpha, and now we have the input to the function. We can just go ahead and get alpha like that. Awesome. And that looks great. I'm going to quickly change the insert mode as well to Euler. And we can go back to the event graph. And that's pretty much that setup for the key. And now we're going to have a look at doing the actual box side of it, so the overlap. So let's go ahead and grab the event actor begin overlap. And also we want to grab the actor end overlap, like that. Right. Now we're going to also make a function. Okay, so we're going to make a function called toggle overlap door. And inside of the door, we're basically, what we're wanting to do here is we want to check if there is more than one player in the area. So for example, you don't want to have the door opened and then another player comes and it shuts whilst you're there, right? you want it to remain open whilst there is a player there. So we're going to go ahead and first check if it is a character. So we need two inputs. We're going to get first input is going to be an object. So object. Ah, that's the wrong one. Alright, redo that again. So object, boom, and we can call this player because we want to check if it is a player. And then we're going to add a bool just called on. So boolean on. Then we can go and cast this to a character. Bearing in mind, if it isn't a character, I guess you could just do an actor. That's fine as well. It's up to you. I'm doing a character. But yeah, so we've done that. We're going to get the branch, and this is where we're going to actually check if, you know, there is multiple players or not. So we're going to do a select. Boom. And then from the select, the index of the select will be on. And then we're going to get off of the false, we're going to get a not bool. And then we're going to duplicate that. Duplicate, you can duplicate with Control D. And then we're going to check if this is less than or equal to. Greater than, like that. So greater than, and then we're going to do another greater than. And once we've done that, we're going to quickly go ahead and grab the box. And then get the overlapping actors currently inside said box. And inside, we're going to check characters. Remember, if you are casting to actors, you can set that class filter as actors as well. It's up to you. Doesn't really matter. We get the length. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pump the length into the greater than or equals to or the greater than. And we can straighten that out with Q. Like that. And that looks all good. We can set the 0 to 1 to make sure there's more than one player. Or not more than one more player, I guess. And then we're going to go back to the event graph. And within the event graph, we're going to create a new custom event called server toggle door. And we're going to go to the replicated. And we're going to set that one there to the run on server. And that, I guess, can be reliable too. Reliable basically just means that it's got a very good chance of it actually happening. Because when you in networking, you lose packets, right? So this is more of a reliable method. You don't want everything to be set to reliable though. That is a big waste of data and bandwidth overall. So yeah, once we've got that, we're going to get the branch. And let me just move this out of the way. And we're going to get the is locked again. And we're going to put that into the can overlap, like so. And from the true, we're just going to connect that to the multicast effects. Right, we're basically finished here. So we're going to go into the bottom here where it's the actor begin overlap, and we're going to grab the toggle overlap door, connect these up, and turn on. I'm going to connect these up as well and turn it off. And that is pretty much it. So we're going to compile that and save it. Oh, and one last thing I'd like to mention. I'd recommend turning these as exposed. And then you can categorize them if you'd like. Server toggle door and the toggle overlap function. And in the details, if I compile it, in the details you'll see all the different options we have available. So for this door, let's quickly check if it's working. So if it's can overlap, we're going to set that to true, and then the slide amount or the slide location, let's go on, let's do 200 here. Right, so in theory, if we go into the game now, so now the door opens, the door shuts when we go past. As you can see, it works on the client as well. If the client is stepped in the way, the door won't do anything. That's the bug fix we did. Let's try it with the can interact key. So let's check that. Go up to it. Press E. Oh, I forgot. Right. So the issue with the starter content is there's no collision on the door already, which is a bit of a ball fake, to be honest. So we're going to go ahead and double click on the door mesh. Your door, if you have your own, probably has collision, but if it doesn't, do this. So just add a box and fly collision like that, and we can save that and we can carry on. But let's test that again. So we go up to it, E, and nothing will happen, but that's because we don't really want it to. So that all works fine on the client. Works fine. Now let's really check if it's locked. Will anything happen even if we have counter overlap on? Nothing happens. Perfect. And also, if you just want to know, you can make it rotate. So let's say we want to rotate it 90 degrees, like a real door. Let's just go ahead and play. And did I turn off? I did. So let's go ahead and turn on the overlap. And now it'll rotate like we want it. And it plays the sound. So everything's great. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you did enjoy. If you have any questions or have any issues, please feel free to leave them in the comments, or head over to our Discord, where it's pretty poppin'. Yeah, we'll be doing another video in the next coming days related to this, where we'll be adding locking, so you can actually lock the door and then unlock it with a key card or a key. So if you're interested in that, you know, keep your eyes out. But that's it for today. I hope you did enjoy it, and I hope you learned something. So yeah, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.